Good morning. You're a lively crowd. Welcome to the 2025 graduation ceremony of the School of Arts and Sciences Graduate Division. My name is Beth Wenger, and I'm the school's Associate Dean for Graduate Studies. To the graduates sitting in front of me, on behalf of the entire Faculty of Arts and Sciences, it is my pleasure to celebrate this occasion with you, your families, and loved ones. Today, your diligence and dedication have paid off as we award your hard-earned master's and doctoral degrees. You're graduating at a tremendously challenging moment for higher education. So I want to begin this ceremony with two declarative statements. One, your research across the arts and sciences drives innovation and discovery and expands knowledge in ways that are vital to our quality of life. And two, your work is a force for social good that makes the world a better place. And go ahead. That's worthy of applause. And while today's challenges make it necessary to assert these truths, they also present you with opportunities to be the change that we need right now. And that's a message you're going to hear throughout today's ceremony. So let me say a quick word about our program. You'll hear from Interim Dean Jeffrey Kahlberg and from this year's invited speaker, Professor Michael Mann. Interspersed between their remarks and my own, there will be brief reflections from three of this year's graduates. They are now former doctoral students who we welcome into our ranks as colleagues. And they'll offer short reflections on their experiences throughout our ceremony. We'll conclude by granting degrees to each of the students here today. All of these graduates have recently completed some form of original research, and they know well both the enormous challenges and the tremendous sense of accomplishment that it brings. Today's graduates come from a wide variety of disciplines, from English to chemistry, from sociology to mathematics, and from philosophy to economics. Despite this tremendous span of scholarly inquiry, they all share a few key traits that have propelled them to this day. And the first of these is something very basic: curiosity. Anyone who's ever spent time with a toddler knows that the most fundamental way of encountering the world is to ask, why? To want to understand how things work. That kind of inquisitiveness lies at the heart of research. It's the ability to get so excited by an idea, so driven by curiosity, that you embrace every opportunity to know more, to know why, to know how. This is what propels scholars to dig deep in the lab, in the archives, in their data, to find something new, or something that no one has seen or uncovered before. But this group knows better than most that curiosity alone is not enough. Pursuing an advanced degree is a long and often grueling process. It requires a tremendous amount of persistence and dedication. There are countless setbacks and failures along the way, and let's be honest, very real moments of discouragement. But those that are here today know that those setbacks are all part of the long road to success. You are here because you harnessed that curiosity into critical thinking and persisted in your pursuit of knowledge. And that brings me to what I hope you'll carry forward. Intellectually curious people pioneer scientific discoveries, find ways to address poverty and disease, help us understand culture, decipher past civilizations, and illuminate our present challenges, and chart the best courses for the future. But these contributions are not the only ones that graduates like you will make. Being intellectually curious enhances the capacity to listen and to collaborate. It breeds empathy. Intellectual curiosity requires open-mindedness to consider other people's ideas and perspectives. By definition, it demands a questioning spirit. It resists certainty in favor of constant rethinking and re-examination, and the courage to admit when we're on the wrong path. Intellectual curiosity creates better leaders who want to share and expand knowledge for the benefit of others. This is a time for us, for those of us committed to higher education, to recommit to and to champion the value and vital contribution of these habits of mind and the behaviors they foster. It is why research, teaching, and higher education matter now more than ever. So with that, let me turn to the first of our graduate speakers. I'm pleased to introduce Felipe Barbieri, who earned his PhD in economics. Next year, he'll join the economics group faculty at the Tuck School of Business at Dartmouth College as an assistant professor. Felipe.
Once upon a time, I was a young first-year PhD student here at Penn. Back then, I still had no back pain and was not yet severely sleep-deprived. But one thing that I remember clearly was when I first truly read and understood my first full research paper. It was a daunting experience. Reading all the equations and grasping the sheer amount of work that went into it, to me that felt like looking at a finished marble sculpture. How on earth was a single human mind able to create all this from scratch? As the years of my PhD passed, and as both my sleep and back pain deteriorated, I realized none of those research papers were done from scratch, let alone by a single person. No, these papers were written by standing on the shoulder of giants. Now, usually when people say this, they refer to the great authors of the past. In my field, that would be Adam Smith, Alfred Marshall. We all owe something to them. But the main reason I'm here today is because I'm standing on the shoulder of other giants, the giants I've met here at Penn, my advisors, my fellow PhD students, and my friends. From them, I have learned more than any book has ever taught me. And this is why I came to Penn. Not because of the beautiful campus, the magnificent libraries, or the 285-year-old history, but because of the people who are here. And Penn is a global magnet for talent. Just in my graduating cohort, PhD students, there are researchers, brilliant researchers from Albania, Australia, Chile, Italy, Mexico, Peru, South Korea, Switzerland, the US, and Turkey. My doctoral dissertation committee is also composed of professors from all over the world: Aviv Nevo from Israel, Juan Camilo Castillo from Colombia, and Gilles Duranton from France. And for the last 6 years, these incredible researchers have willingly lent me their time and their brain power. And most importantly, they have been my mentors and my friends. So to my advisors, to my colleagues, and to my family, thank you for letting me stand on your shoulders during all these years. Because of you, my chisel is now sharp, my hands are steady, and I'm ready to start carving my own research ideas into my own marble sculptures. Congratulations to the graduating cohort. You truly are giants. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Felipe. Thank you for your superb scholarship and for these Lovely remarks. And now it's my distinct pleasure to introduce the Interim Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences and William R. Keenan Jr. Professor of Music History, Jeffrey Colburn.
Thank you, Beth, and let me join Beth in extending a warm welcome to all of you gathered here, to family, to friends, and especially to our degree recipients. Today marks the end of a long, sometimes arduous journey, and I know how hard all of you have worked to reach this moment, and I know what an achievement this moment represents. Through this journey, you carry the DNA of centuries of scholars. Your faculty advisors take great pride in mentoring you, just as their advisors did for them when they were graduate students. Everyone on this stage knows how hard you've worked to get here, because we too logged those hours, be they in the library, in the lab, or in the field. For some of you, commencement may mark the end of your time at Penn, but as the word suggests, it also marks the beginning of your path forward as a distinguished scholar. You have been called to the realm of higher learning, and through your capstone projects and dissertations, you have created new knowledge that will serve as a stepping stone to the next stage of your career as you assume leadership roles in your respective fields. I salute all of you for persevering with this work in the face of hurdles unprecedented in the recent history of graduate education. But the challenges of these times make the critical thinking and deep immersive nature of a liberal arts education even more important than ever, because knowledge endures. During the Middle Ages, to be a master of arts meant that one was a master of the 7 liberal arts, as they were then known, and could lecture on any text in the curriculum. And this regalia that we wear today, these long hooded gowns, were worn as much for warmth and practicality as they were for style and denoting rank. Now, of course, there are a few more than 7 liberal arts, and we can't hope to master them all. Over the centuries, knowledge has grown, branching, proliferating, and creating new and emerging areas of study. But even as we evolve and change, the core of the arts and sciences and the need for interdisciplinary collaboration remains strong. Whether through biology, art history, or sociology, our fields of study address the essence of what it means to be a human in this world. Many of you will carry forward this intellectual tradition by training the next generation of scholars and teachers. You will understand then how much you can learn from your graduate students, just as all of you have pushed your mentors to think in important new ways. All of you sitting here today hold our hopes for the future of knowledge and teaching. And as scholarship continues to evolve in the decades to come, your careers will require both highly specialized expertise as well as a broad worldview. What you cannot anticipate is where your own career and the future of knowledge will lead you. To embrace learning, we must remain intellectually curious, always open to new ideas and new ways of thinking. So today, as you think about the work you have accomplished, I hope you continue to look to the future. What you do and the wisdom that you will share will dramatically shape our collective future in ways we can only begin to imagine. And let us remember that everyone gathered here today is helping to ensure that vibrant future. The degree recipients and the faculty, of course, but also the family and friends who have stood by today's graduates, commiserating with your challenges and celebrating your achievements. Knowledge endures, knowledge grows, and just like a study group pizza or a pitcher of beer at Smokey Joe's, it is best shared with friends. So on behalf of the entire School of Arts and Sciences faculty, many of whom are here with us today, I am proud and delighted to welcome today's degree recipients into our community of scholars. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you so much, Dean Kahlberg, for your words and for joining us for this terrific celebration today. It's now my privilege to introduce our second graduate speaker, Youngbin Yoon, who is receiving his PhD in philosophy. Youngbin.
I will now filibuster for 15 hours, so settle it. Okay, I'll actually begin. Family, friends, faculty, and of course, fellow grads, thank you for lending me your ears. I hope that for the next few minutes alone, I can put words to the gratitude and the celebration that brings us all here today. Let me begin, as is right, with the people without whom we grads couldn't be here at all, our family and our friends. You could write a whole dissertation about love and loving relationships. As an aside, trust me, I did that. That was my thing. But all the philosophizing in the world wouldn't be quite enough to say everything there is to say. But here's a small attempt. In all those great stories we heard growing up, where the hero goes on the quest to save the realm, it doesn't escape my notice that they never go alone. D'Artagnan has the Three Musketeers, Elizabeth Bennet has her sister Jane, and, more accurate to my own life, Shrek has Fiona and Donkey. Thank you all for being our Musketeers, our Janes, and our Donkeys. There was no quest without you all. The grad chair of my department likes to give our graduate students the following advice. At some point, you have to tell your advisor, I think I'm right, and you're wrong. And if you think about it, that's insane advice. You have to turn to this professor, this actual world-leading expert who honestly might have been teaching students since before you were born, and tell them, I think you're wrong. But, as it turns out, I think I figured out a little secret. They actually love being told that they're wrong, because it means that we, the students, have finally come into our own. Alexander the Great once said, I am indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well. His teacher was the great philosopher Aristotle. Now, I'm not trying to suggest that my philosophy professors were Aristotle, but they were about as close as anyone could ask for. So thank you, members of the faculty, for being our Aristotles. I'm noticing that my professor, who I asked to print this speech for me, has threw in one extra line at the end of this paragraph, which I will say aloud. Professor Dr. Daniel J. Singer is the smartest, nicest, most hardworking, and prettiest professor I could possibly imagine. Thank you, Daniel. This brings us, of course, to my wonderful and brilliant and, dare I say, beautiful fellow grads. Congratulations, you did it. You did a lot of things, actually, as it turns out. You showed us why international climate inaction is not a tragedy of the commons problem. You surmised whether distant planets had water by analyzing sedimentary crack patterns on satellite images. You went dumpster diving through Philadelphia to create a smellographic map of Philadelphia. It's customary in these speeches to say a little bit about what I did during my time at Penn, but if I'm being fully honest, most of what I remember doing here is just being starstruck by you all, so thank you for that. Allow me to close with a silly little fact about myself. Every morning when I wake up, I listen to the song Applause by Lady Gaga. And I tell myself in the mirror, may nothing today humble you. In case the title of the song is like too subtle, the chorus goes, I live for the applause, applause, applause. I live for the applause, applause, live for the applause, applause. The reason I am sharing this moderately embarrassing fact about myself is because graduate school attracts a very particular kind of self-critical nerd. I suspect a lot of us here struggle to feel proud, or at least fully proud, about our own accomplishments. So, and I say this from the bottom of my heart to every person graduating here today, may nothing today humble you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Young Bin. The School of Arts and Sciences takes enormous pride in graduate scholars who bring these perspectives and a good deal of humor to the world. Now, it's long been a custom in the graduate division to invite as a guest speaker an especially distinguished member of the Penn Arts and Sciences faculty. And so it's my distinct privilege to introduce Professor Michael Mann, who is Presidential Distinguished Professor in the Department of Earth and Environmental Science with a secondary appointment in the Annenberg School for Communication. He is director of the Penn Center for Science, Sustainability, and the Media, and for the last several months, he served as the inaugural Vice Provost for Climate Science, Policy, and Action here at Penn. Michael Mann is a premier climate scientist who has not only made signal contributions to the field, but also devoted his time and energy to promoting understanding of the climate crisis to a wider public. He is a renowned and enormously productive scholar and the author of several groundbreaking books, including The Hockey Stick and the Climate Wars, The New Climate War, The Fight to Take Back Our Planet, and most recently, Our Fragile Moment, How Lessons from Earth's Past Can Help Us Survive the Climate Crisis. Mann is an elected member of the U.S. National Academy of Sciences and an elected foreign member of the Royal Society. His many honors include the Tyler Prize for Environmental Achievement, the Climate Communication Prize from the American Geophysical Union, and the Friend of the Planet Award from the National Center for Science Education. In 2021, Mann received the Leo Szilard Award of the American Physical Society, and in 2023 was named Humanist of the Year by the American Humanist Association. Michael Mann has not only made crucial scientific discoveries that document the climate crisis, but also offered roadmaps for the future. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Vice Provost Michael Mann.
Thank you, Dean Wenger, for those very kind words. It's an honor to address this group of distinguished faculty, proud parents, family members, and friends here today. We're gathered here to celebrate the accomplishments of these young scholars as they successfully complete one challenge and prepare for others to come. So please join me in congratulating the School of Arts and Sciences Graduate Division degree recipients for 2025. Now, I've been a faculty member here at Penn for just under 3 years now. I was formerly a faculty member at Penn State for 17 years. Then I decided to cross the state off of my business card and come here to Penn. It was a natural home. My grandfather, father, and uncle all went to Penn, and my daughter just completed her first year here at Penn. Yes. We celebrated with a nice dinner the other night. Even here in Philly, I often encounter Penn State football fans. There might even be a few here in the audience. And they'll be familiar with the chant, "We are Penn State." I knew we'd find at least one of them in the audience here. "We are Penn State," heard at the games. Yet too few know the origin of the refrain. Are there any historians in the crowd? Any historians? Well, let me provide a little history. The slogan dates back to 1946, when the Nittany Lions made history for refusing to play against the then segregated University of Miami. When told they must leave their black players at home, the Penn State team instead voted to cancel the game. The following season, they were invited to the Cotton Bowl, and they were asked again to leave the team's two black players, Wally Triplett and Denny Hoggard, at home. They refused. Captain Steve Suey reportedly responded defiantly, "We are Penn State," asserting the oneness of the team. The full team ended up going to the Cotton Bowl on January 1st, 1948, in a matchup against Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, with Dallas still operating under Jim Crow laws at the time. It was a game that would become symbolic of desegregation. Triplett and Hoggard became the first African Americans ever to play in the Cotton Bowl. Well, we are Penn, and that stands for something we can be proud of too. Our founder, Benjamin Franklin, would later in life go on to become the president of the Pennsylvania Society for the Abolition of Slavery. He petitioned Congress for abolition and wrote essays supporting the cause. But Franklin was many things. He was a statesman, a diplomat, a public intellectual, an inventor, a scientist, and I'm not sure many of you are aware of this, but indeed, like me, a climate scientist. Despite the famous story that we all learned growing up about Franklin and his kite, he did not actually invent electricity. That goes back to at least the 5th century BCE. But he was the first to chart the Gulf Stream. And he was an environmental activist. He designed cleaner burning stoves and brought a lawsuit against a tannery in Philadelphia that was dumping hazardous chemicals into the Delaware River. He was, of course, also a revolutionary who helped lead a rebellion against a ruthless autocrat, an actual king rather than a self-declared one. Franklin once said that to safeguard democracy, the people must have a keen sense of independence, self-respect, and their oneness. And he famously warned that we would maintain our republic only for as long as we can keep it. He was speaking to us here today. Yes, this is a time of great adversity and challenge, but it is also a time of great opportunity. For you, as my good friend Bill Nye is fond of saying, can change the world. I sometimes scold Bill, ever so gently, that it's important to finish the thought, for the better. There's some people who are changing the world, not necessarily for the better, but we can all change the world for the better. You graduating here have an opportunity to change the world for the better. What delights me most about being here at Penn is having the opportunity to teach, advise, and befriend so many future change makers. You give me optimism. You draw upon the important work you've done at Penn as you set out into the world to improve people's lives and make a better planet. Today we hear, and we'll hear from one more, of a few of this year's cohort of inspiring Penn graduate degree recipients. They include Felipe Barbieri, who we heard from earlier, who's receiving his PhD in economics, focused on transportation and housing markets. His research involves rental assistance policy and addresses the problem of homelessness. This fall, he, as you heard, joins Dartmouth's Tuck School of Business as an assistant professor. We will also hear from Jessica Wojcik. Jessica recently graduated with a PhD in biology. I'm told her son, her young son, is here in the audience somewhere back there. She recently graduated with a PhD in biology. Her research involved the cellular and behavioral neuroscience of pain and involves the targeting of particular cells to reduce suffering. There's a theme here. She is currently a postdoctoral fellow at UNC Chapel Hill, studying serotonin's role in alcohol use abuse disorder. And last but not least, we heard from Youngbin Yoon. Youngbin receives a PhD in philosophy. His research centers on ethics and aesthetics, especially love, sex, friendship, beauty, and art. Add chocolate and White Lotus, and I think you've got it all there. I think you've really got it all. Each of these Penn graduates in their own way are helping to make the world a better place. I know how difficult it must be for many of you right now, as you prepare to leave the sheltering home of this university and go forth into an uncertain and at times exceptionally scary world. I know because I've heard from my own students, you're feeling the weight of the uncertainty surrounding the future of our nation and our world. You're worried about whether there will even be an opportunity to carry on your research and engage in unfettered scholarship, given the stiff, anti-intellectual, authoritarian headwinds of today's brewing storm. Yes, it's a time of great anxiety. And history will look back at this moment. There's no question about that. But what it will find depends on you, depends on all of you. It could look back and see a generation that threw up its collective hands in defeat, convinced it had no agency in determining its future, as our world transformed into maelstrom of toxic ideology, alternative facts, hate, bigotry, bitterness, despair, and hopelessness. Or it could look back in awe at a generation that rose to the challenge and fought back for truth, freedom, democracy, respect for science, factual discourse, and good faith. And yes, I believe it will be this latter scenario because of you. Now, before I complete my remarks, let me regale you with a story about my own college experience decades ago. In 1984, after graduating from high school in Amherst, Massachusetts, I headed off to Berkeley to demonstrate against the policies of Ronald Reagan, you ask? Or to participate in sit-ins protesting the apartheid policies of South Africa? And I did do that. But that's not why I headed off to Berkeley. I'm sad to tell you that there was no larger purpose of that sort. I didn't go to protest or demonstrate. I went there to study applied math and physics among some of the world's leading experts. But ironically, it was that path that turned out to be the one that would lead me toward confrontation and battle. I would go on to study theoretical physics in graduate school and move into the then burgeoning field of climate research. My path of discovery would ultimately lead me and my colleagues to publish the now iconic hockey stick curve in the late 1990s. The curve tells an unmistakable story, namely that the current warming spike is unprecedented as far back as we can go. Our continued burning of fossil fuels is the culprit. And fossil fuel interests and the various front groups, politicians, paid hands that do their bidding, target it and me for attack. Despite the numerous independent confirmations of our findings by the U.S. National Academy of Sciences and dozens of other assessments, the effort to discredit this research and to discredit me personally continued on. I was initially reluctant to remain at the center of the fractious societal debate over human-caused climate change. But I've ultimately come to embrace that opportunity. I'm convinced there's no more noble pursuit than to seek to ensure that policy is informed by an objective assessment of scientific evidence. I consider myself privileged to be in a position to inform the conversation about what is arguably one of the greatest challenges and threats that we face today. And so here we are at a crossroads. Never before have we witnessed science under the kind of assault it is subject to today in this country. Science is, to gratuitously quote the title of my forthcoming book with public health scientist Peter Hotez, under siege. And as Peter and I argue in the book, we face an even bigger threat today, which is the weaponization of misinformation and disinformation, for it undermines our ability to tackle any of the great challenges that we face today, be it the climate crisis or the threat of increasingly deadly pandemics. In closing, let me read an excerpt from the end of the book. It draws upon one of my favorite literary references. There's a theme here today, J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, which I consider to be an allegory for our time. So the diminutive hobbit Frodo was saddled with the crucial task of destroying the Ring of Power, and with it the Dark Lord Sauron, whose life force inextricably tied to it. He's accompanied in this venture by his fellow hobbit and friend Sam. Frodo grows to doubt his resolve. His task begins to feel hopeless. The film adaptation of The Two Towers contains this exchange between the two. Frodo, I can't do this, Sam. What are we holding on to, Sam? Sam, that there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. There is something ageless and archetypal about these literary references. There's no question about it. They're fictional, but they speak to deep truths and universal themes of good versus evil, heroism, and the time-honored virtue of fighting the good fight regardless of the expected outcome. And so we choose to do battle against the forces of darkness, fighting back against a malevolent movement that represents all that is bad in the world: fascism, authoritarianism, racism, misogyny, bigotry. A movement that uses anti-scientific disinformation as its preferred weapon. We do this not because our success is guaranteed. Given the forces mobilized against us, we are clearly the underdog, and no white wizard will come to our defense. But we have truth and justice on our side, and the stakes simply couldn't be greater. We fight for a livable planet, for us, our children, and future generations, because it's worth fighting for. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our deepest thanks to Vice Provost Mann for those insightful and inspiring remarks, and also for your model of engaged excellence in scholarship and in service. Thank you. Now I want to introduce our third and final graduate speaker, who you've just heard about, Jessica Wojcik, who earned a PhD in biology, and she is currently a postdoctoral fellow at UNC Chapel Hill. Jessica.
Good morning. My name is Jessica Wojcik, and I'm graduating with my PhD in biology. It is a great honor to address all of you today, particularly my fellow graduate students who are celebrating earning their master's and PhDs, a huge accomplishment for which I hope you all feel great pride. Whenever I have shared that I was pursuing or completed my PhD, many people think the most challenging part of the PhD is the rigorous academic requirements. But I found throughout my PhD, the biggest challenge was a need for perseverance. Perseverance through failed experiments, perseverance through conflicts, perseverance through rejections. It's easy to get bogged down through your 5, 6, 7+ years of research in the failures and the roadblocks throughout. Throughout my 6 years, these often led me to wonder, why am I doing this at all? We pursue a PhD not because it's easy, not because it's always fun, and certainly not because it will make us a lot of money. We pursue a PhD to study topics that matter and in the pursuit of knowledge. My research during graduate school focused on the brain changes that accompany and are responsible for acute and chronic pain. Despite how important this sounds when I say it, I often fell into the trap of questioning why my small experiments mattered. I was reminded of how acutely my research mattered a few years ago when I was invited to an NIH meeting about pain disorders after I earned an NIH grant to fund my doctoral research. This meeting included speeches from real patients who suffered from chronic pain disorders. They reminded us that while our findings may feel incremental to us, they give hope to millions of people across the country who depend on research like ours to fuel new treatments for people with illnesses and disorders. These patients were thrilled to hear that someone was dedicating their career to studying a disorder that deeply affected their lives. My PhD matters to everyone that suffered from chronic pain, an estimated 52 million people in the US alone. This research would not be possible without funding from the NIH, and I am grateful to have had that funding. Without funding from the NIH for academic research, 52 million Americans that suffer from chronic pain have no hope for new treatments to help them have a better life. What we all do and what we will continue to do in academic research matters, and I am so proud of all of us for persevering through difficult times, these past few months in particular, to be here at graduation to celebrate together. I am especially proud to be here today showing my son Jack, who was born in November, that hard things are worth doing. Congratulations, everyone. May you feel so proud to be here today, having persevered and showing the world that academic research matters and that hard things are worth doing.
Thank you so much, Jessica, for those fantastic words. Now you can see why I can't stop smiling as you hear, even from just these 3 students, about their fabulous work. And I want to say, these are 3 students from each of our divisions, the humanities, the natural sciences, the social sciences. But for these 3, there's also all the graduates sitting here whose research is equally inspiring and important. And that's why we're here today, to celebrate all of you. And now, I'm pleased to move on to what you came here today for. We're going to begin granting degrees to our fabulous graduates. And I'm going to introduce the graduate chairs, or the faculty representatives from each of our graduate groups, and they will present the degree recipients in their respective fields. So I ask the graduates to start coming up, please. And thank you. And we're starting with Africana Studies and going through Spanish and Portuguese, just so you know. So first up, Professor Jasmine Johnson, Africana Studies.
Joshua Kamau Reason.
Yeah, okay. Professor Julia Wilker, Graduate Chair, Ancient History.
The pleasure to present one candidate for a doctoral degree, Danielle Perry, Doctor of Philosophy.
Professor Megan Kassebaum, Graduate Chair in Anthropology.
So excited to get to introduce our new doctors who are getting scanned in right now. First, Dr. Claire Super. Dr. Katie Elizabeth Mari. Dr. Rachel Rennick Dickerson. Dr. Juliette Pascal Glazer. Dr. Casey Disrins Morgan. Dr. Samantha Lynn Seiler. Dr. Charlotte Morris Williams. And for his masters, Seth Aaron Dorcas.
And next, Professor Yoichiro Mori, Graduate Chair, Applied Math and Computational Science.
Okay, so it's a pleasure to. You'll be cool. Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me try this again. Okay. So it's my distinct pleasure to congratulate our PhD students first that are earning their PhDs. So Ryan Brill. Xinmen Huang. Travis Ledbetter. Jialin Mao. Shiyun Xu. Yishan Shen. Yutong Chang. And now we have the we have master students Jinsu Ho, Bo Xi Yu, Xinbo Li, Yao Yo, Yulei Xu, Yijun Fan, Xingyue Fang, Xinyao Zhou, Tianyu Gu, Xulei Chen, Abhishek Matra, that's it. Okay.
And now Professor Ann Cutler, Graduate Chair, Art and Archaeology of the Mediterranean World.
Dr. John Hanahan Sigmeyer. Dr. Mark Van Horn. And Dr. James Gross.
And next, Professor Dejian Ren, Graduate Chair, Biology.
Dr. Jessica Ann Wojcik. Dr. Iman Abbasi. Dr. Seyoung Jung. Dr. Mikhail Ben Calvert. Dr. Skyner Marie Baradi. Dr. Jack Kenny Bells. Now we have a Master degree of Science. Nicholas E. Bambach. Isabella Pargialas. Grace Dai. Timothy Lee. Linda Chen. Eileen Egin. Krishna R. Chandrasekhara.
And next, Professor E. James Peterson, Graduate Chair in Chemistry.
Hi. So it's my pleasure to introduce the PhD graduates first from chemistry. First is Hong-Chin Chen. Dr. Hong-Chin Chen. Next is Dr. Zhao Lu. Next is next is Dr. John Benedict Russell. Dr. Maxwell Highland Thurigai. Dr. Cameron Berlin. Dr. Christopher Anthony Sojak. Dr. Marie Shimogawa. Dr. Lanshu Zhao. Dr. Yifan Ning. Dr. Chanyu Gao. Dr. Yogu Pu. Dr. Meijun Zhao. Dr. Alistair Lewis. Dr. Peng Fei Jin. And so now I will introduce the Masters of Science from the Department of Chemistry. First, Michaela Alpert. Next, Ziqi An. Cole Christopher. Ryan Tenier. Akshatha Manjunatha. Grace Matwichik. Kamara Michael Holmes. Gregory T. Kranick. Matthias Julian Schmuckler. Sean Patel. I know his name. I can do it without the name. Sai Sarnar. Nitin V. Ramachandran. Justin Curtis. And Rishi Patel. Sorry, I got that. All right. I just wanted to say that actually, I think every single one of those master's students I had the pleasure of teaching in my advanced biochemistry class, and they were all a pleasure to have.
And now, Professor James Carr, Graduate Chair, Classical Studies.
It's my pleasure to present and congratulate Dr. Zachary Bradley Elliott. Dr. Massimo De Sanctis Mangelli. And Dr. Abigail Wargle.
And next, Professor David Kazanjian, Graduate Chair, Comparative Literature and Literary Theory.
Dr. Yunbin Cho. Dr. Hannah Phoebe LeClaire. Dr. Judith Elizabeth Weston. Congratulations. And for their masters, Chaya Sarah Oppenheim. And for their masters, Tova Tashow.
And next, Professor Michel Guillot, Graduate Chair, Demography.
On behalf of the faculty of the graduate group in demography, I am pleased to present to you for the degree of Doctorate of Philosophy, Dr. Annelise Nora Luck.
Professor David Goldsby, Chair, Earth and Environmental Science.
I'd like to introduce J.D. Ann Edwards. And Dr. John G. Ruck.
Professor David Spafford, Graduate Chair, East Asian Languages and Civilizations.
Hello, starting with our PhDs. Bryce Douglas Heatherly. Yang Yifei. Idil Gunay. Kawasaki Rin. Ma Ruizong. Chen Zhaofei. Ying Tianhui. Wu Xiaohan. Wang Xiaohan. Liang Shuhao.
And next, Professor George Maleth, Graduate Chair, Economics.
It's my great pleasure to introduce the recipients of doctorates in economics. Our first is Jonathan Evan Arnold. Congratulations. And we all know Felipe Barbieri. Ozkur Sekar. Congratulations. Jordan Peoples. Ornella Darova. Kristen B. Mashur. Shasha Wayne. And my own Alberto Ramirez de Aguilera. Cesar Ukritsu.
Professor Paul St. Amour, Graduate Chair in English.
On behalf of the Faculty of English, I'm delighted to present the degrees in Doctor of Philosophy, Dr. Jacob Myers. Dr. Kirsten S. Lee. Dr. Molly Rose Young. And for the degree of Master of Arts, Sophie Lily Miki. Sabrina Noelani Cho. Armando F. Chartier. Paula Cruz Naughton. Jude Farino. Eddie Wong. Clara Jimenez. Island Jane.
Professor Eva Del Soldato, Graduate Chair, Francophone, Italian, and Germanic Studies.
On behalf of the Physics Department and the entire faculty, I'm overjoyed to present to you all Dr. Marie Bellec, Doctor of Philosophy in French and Francophone Studies. For Italian Studies, Dr. Massimiliano Lorenzano. For Italian Studies, Dr. Dion James Dresser. For Germanic Studies, Meredith Moon Aking.
Professor Anne Farnsworth Alvear, Graduate Chair, History.
On behalf of the History Department, it is my honor to present those honored with the PhD, Dr. Francis Russo. Dr. Brianna Moore. For the degree of Masters of Art, Osa Alexander Iluebe. For the degree of Master of Arts, James Fryer.
Keeping up. Professor Beth Linker, Chair, History and Sociology of Science.
On behalf of the History and Sociology of Science, it's my distinct pleasure to welcome to the company of scholars two PhD, newly minted PhDs, Arnav Bhattacharya. And Dr. Taylor Dysart.
Professor Sarah Guerin, Graduate Chair, History of Art.
On behalf of the History of Art Graduate Group, I'm honored to present two doctors. First, Elisa Mary Childs. And one of my own, Dr. Robin Barrow. And with a Master's of Arts degree, Marina George.
Professor Meredith Taminga, Graduate Chair, Linguistics.
On behalf of the graduate group in linguistics, I am so pleased to present first Dr. Daoxin Li. And next, Dr. Orjan Vurgun. And for the MA, Nicola Datkova. And finally, Petros Kaklamanis.
And again, Professor Yoichiro Mori, Mathematics.
Okay, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce or present our degree recipients in mathematics, Hunter Stufflebeam, Andrew Kwan, Junyu Ma, Xin-Xuan Wang, Yuan Shen, master's degree, sorry. Molly Bradley, Yu Jie Wu, Eric Mizilev, Dylan Marchlinsky, Ethan Soloway, Cheng Lu Wang,
Professor Glenda Goodman, Graduate Chair in Music.
I'm very happy to get to introduce Dr. Allison Brooks Conrad, my advisee. So proud of you.
Professor Fatima Shams, Graduate Chair, Near Eastern Languages and Civilization.
It's my pleasure to congratulate and introduce Dr. Benjamin Notice. Dr. Rawat Zahi Wahbe.
Professor Quayshawn Spencer, Philosophy.
All right, it's my pleasure to introduce the doctorates of philosophy in philosophy. Youngbin Yoon, Dr. Youngbin Yoon. Dr. Monica Afton Greco. Dr. Clarissa Bush. Dr. Sarah Elizabeth Parenton. Dr. Ursil M. Martinez. Dr. Samantha Fritz. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the master's degree recipients in philosophy. William Raymond Reason. Samuel Maxwell Stanton.
Professor Ravi Sheth, Graduate Chair, physics and astronomy.
Great. It's my pleasure to introduce Jandrong Tan. Mang Luo. Sitong Lu. Jonathan Russell Stensberg. Jamian Jason Lee. Lauren Osoina. Noah Brager. Yorios Gunares. For the Master of Science, Brandon Keck. Peter Lee. Linran Wei. Joy Gong. Talia Becker Calazans. I'd like to say a big thank you to the graduate coordinator, Millicent Minnick, who's guided these people through, and hundreds over the last few decades.
Professor Alex Weisiger, Graduate Chair, Political Science.
On behalf of the faculty in political science, I'm delighted to be able to present our two graduates who are here today. First, Dr. Claire Ma. And one of my favorite students in the time I've been at Penn, Dr. Jason Hartwig.
Professor Sarah Jaffe, Chair, Psychology.
On behalf of the graduate group in psychology, it is my very great pleasure to present the recipients of the doctoral degree. Marley Christina Tandock. Shuyan Shu. Samantha Pearlstein. Cassidy McDermott. Samiha Islam. Thomas T. Kim. Min Kang Souther. Austin Borshak. Simone Schrager.
And next, Professor Jamal Elias, Religious Studies.
On behalf of the graduate group in religious studies, it's my privilege to be introducing the following scholars of the PhD. First, Abdul Manan Bhatt. Max J. Dugan. Dr. Ali Nouri. Dr. Jeremy Benjamin Steinberg. Dr. Hallie Nell Swanson. Dr. Angela K. Jia.
Professor Wendy Roth, Graduate Chair, Sociology.
Thank you. On behalf of the faculty in sociology, it is my supreme honor to introduce the new recipients of the Doctorate in Sociology, Dr. Shakila Turquoise Salonika Harrigan. Dr. Alejandra Regla Vargas. Dr. Richard Paddy. Dr. Abiodun Aziz. And recipient of the Master of Arts in Sociology, Nyaja Wright.
Professor Devesh Sunji, Graduate Chair, South Asia Regional Studies.
Thank you all. It's a pleasure to congratulate and introduce our two PhD students this year who are graduating. First, Shashi Alhawat. And next, my own advisee, Praveen Vijay Kumar.
And now, Professor Jorge Tellez, Spanish and Portuguese.
On behalf of the Spanish and Portuguese graduate group, it's my pleasure to present Dr. Josue Chavez.
And now, we've done it. All these doctorates and masters. I want to ask our faculty to stand and give a round of applause to our graduates. Now that's a good dose of joy and accomplishment in the air today. So finally, just to close our program for a minute, you know, you've all endured so much to arrive at this singular, rewarding day, a day when, as you can see, your family and friends, as well as your professors, are basking in your success. And I will just say that working closely with graduate students leaves me constantly amazed at the sheer intellectual talent and the passion and the focus that every one of you possesses. And as we said, we are sending you out into a world filled with unprecedented problems today. But I've watched as you've innovated, found new solutions to today's challenges, and worked to make society better, safer, and more just. And I'm going to say again what I said at the beginning, I'm not letting you off the hook. We need you. We need you now. We require all of your creative gifts, your cutting-edge research, your path-breaking ideas, your teaching commitments, and your dedication to harnessing all those talents to improving all of aspects of our society. We're enormously proud of you. We can't wait to see how you will change our world, and as Professor Mann said, for the better. And now I invite everyone to join us for a light reception in the auditorium outside. I'll ask the faculty to process out first, followed by our graduates, and then all of our guests. Please do walk all the way outside rather than stopping on your way so that we can get everyone out of the auditorium smoothly. Thank you, congratulations.